Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of Orchid Plant Chores. And when I say orchid and plant chores, that's what I mean. I will tell you about this mess in a moment. So for the first part of Plant Chores episode 2, we are going to repot our 2 species phals. And they're just going to go back into what they would normally come in, which is the moss and the bark. And then we are going to do an experiment of sorts. Our macra pops has I believe this is a keiki. I don't think that this is an actual growth. I believe this is a keiki because, as we'll look in a minute, it's got root nubbins on it. So we're going to cut that piece off. We're going to pot it in there. And then we're going to move on to some exciting houseplants. Well, exciting to me. I think the first thing we should do is let's just do the macra pops. It's right here. It's in our face. I've already sanitized these ones. I'm just doing it double since I am cutting into really fresh media. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of bark at the bottom. And then we'll put a little bit of the moss. And my moss is not as damp as I'd like it to be. It's actually on quite the dry side. I don't know how long this stem is going to be, so we're just going to I want to press this moss kind of down because I'm going to spritz it with, I left the sprayer over here. Let's grab it real quick. I'm going to spritz it with the sprayer just so I can dampen that moss just a little bit. To put that up there, to put some mycorrhizal fungi in here to help encourage, hopefully, some root growth. Let me grab a paper towel because I have a nice wet spot on the cabinet. There we go. So while that is absorbing and doing its thing, the clippers should be ready. So I'm going to take it out. But if you really look, so this is the one with the weird growth, and it's not going to affect this bud opening up. I could actually repot my Paphiopedilum if I wanted to, and the bloom will still bloom in my experience with my environment. Let me know if it's different for you, but Paphiopedilums can literally be repotted at any time, whether they're in bloom, in spike, anytime you want to. You don't even have to wait for new roots to grow as long as you know you have healthy roots to transplant into the new pot. Anywho, back to what I was saying here. But if you look at this growth, it is not a normal growth. It hasn't been normal. It's a stem, and it comes from deep down below. So I'm pretty sure that this is a keiki. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down as close to the media as possible. There we are. And then we're just going to set that girl or guy to the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel back the leaves here just to see if maybe there are roots under here. If not, we're going to cut it down to the first root. All right, so there's no root nubbins that I can see, here. And so I'm just going to cut it right here, which there's that one root nubbin. Now, I don't know if these roots are going to actually take. We're going to see. This is, like I said, an experiment. I've never, ever had a Paphiopedilum create a keiki. Let me know in the comments if you've had the experience and pleasure of a Paphiopedilum giving you a keiki. That would be great to know. And then I'm just going to take off this leaf here. And I might, let's see, yeah, that's it. I may have to cut this one here. I think it'll be fine. I think it will be fine. Let me go get some cinnamon. Hold on. My basket is just right here. I didn't think this through. Let's see, my cinnamon should be right here. Yep, here it is. Again, let me know if you've ever had a Paphiopedilum give you a keiki, because I'm assuming that's what this is, because look at it. Sorry. It's growing leaves like normal now, whereas previously it was just little single bracts, really. And each one of the bracts had a root tip that did not do anything, because obviously, well, not obviously, not everybody knows this, but these guys do not do aerial roots. Not at all. These are true epiphytes. Not epiphytes. Got all my words mixed up. There's a block party going on with a lot of music that's distracting me right now, so I do apologize for that. These are terrestrial. They prefer not to have their roots exposed, and that's why when you plant them or pot them, you want them just above the media. You want their base right above the media. So I am, and that's another thing. So is this the base of this, or is this the base? That's the tricky part. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do media up to probably right here, just so I can see what's going to happen. Just so we can see what's going to happen. So let's move some of this out of the way. And then we're just going to, let's see, is that going to be deep enough? I think, yeah, that'll be deep enough, I think. And then we're going to put a little bit of bark in. So I'm just going to kind of layer this. And I probably might need to also stake this, but we'll see. We shall see. Let me just put some bark over here on that side. Maybe not. I don't know. No, I'm not going to have to stake it once I finish getting the media all in there. So we'll put a little bit of more moss around this side, because this is where those 2 root nub and nodes were showing up. And I'm not going to water it today. I'll finish letting it harden off, even though I put cinnamon on it, and I will water this tomorrow. This way the base is nice and dry underneath. And like I said, I'm just going to do it right up to here, and then we'll have to see how it grows. Like that. Well, I don't know though. I'm kind of nervous. I think it should go to here. What do you think? I think if I do it here, maybe that'll encourage some root tips growing here. What to do? You know what? Leave in the comments below if I should go ahead and finish filling up, like take this out and lower it a little bit where the media is right below the base, or right at the base of this growth here, to encourage maybe some roots to come out here, because it looks like, if you look really close, it looks like there's a bulging here where a root tip might come out. So put that in the comments below, and depending on the consensus, I may just redo this and do it a little bit lower with the media up a little bit higher. Either way, for now, this lady is done. And I am cooking lasagna, so I'm hoping to get this done before the timer goes off. Haha. Famous last words, right? All right, so let's sanitize again, or just in case we need to do any root cuttings or anything like that. Spritz, 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 spritz. All right, so I am going to repot my Orchiata and, like I said, the Lamira, and I am just not prepared. Usually I'm prepared when I'm doing my chores, but not today. Like I said, that music's kind of distracting me. I didn't have everything together, but it is what it is. All right, so this is the Kingianum Orchiata. She has, or he, it has been in this setup since 2022. So we need to, and growing new roots. So now is a good time to freshen it up. And it's just going to go back into this same pot, hopefully. There we go. Oh, we have some desiccated roots. I did water the moss just so that it wouldn't stick to the roots. And there's, oh, there are some bad roots in here. There are some good roots in here. So there's not as many roots in here as you would think with 2 years worth of growth, to be honest with you. But I do kind of let this one dry out and stay dry a little bit longer than it should. Just because the last time, this is actually my 2.0. The last one I had, I overwatered. And it looks like this one I might be underwatering because she does not have the roots should have in this situation. I will have to provide a little more moisture. Stop being greedy with the water. I'm just afraid to rot it out again because look at all the roots that need to be cut off of that. Like we have this one good root right here, And then of course we've got the new roots coming in. And then we've got this one that's decent, and then this one, but it is kind of died off at the end there. But most of these that she went in with are now gone. So let's clean her up real quick. Anybody else ever like get an orchid and then you cause its demise because of your care or lack thereof, or your over loving of it, and then you get a replacement and then you're all paranoid of doing the same thing, but then you end up doing the same thing because you don't do what you're supposed to do due to your paranoia? That's me. That is me. Because this one here has the cutest little blooms, and I have not seen them in quite a long time. I don't think that this one has bloomed for me. I don't remember. That's how long it's been. I know the one I had originally did have blooms and did pretty good. But like I said, I kept it too damp. And so I got paranoid now with this one. And being paranoid, this one here has little to no roots left. I didn't get too close to the base because I didn't want to get into the new roots, because if you look, the new roots are right where all of those older roots were. So I'm just gonna take off what I can by hand, and there we go. All right, and the base looks okay, so it's not getting too much water in that area. I'm debating if I want to, yeah, I'm going to put it back. I'm just going to put it back in this little setup, kind of like that. All right, I'm going to put bark at the bottom. I'm going to put a little more bark in here so I feel a little more confident in, you know, giving it a little more water. More water. Water. Where's my sprayer? Put this, and you know what, while we're waiting, let me go ahead and spray these off, because I'm sure the Lamira is also going to have the same problem, because that one, to be honest, I forget about her sometimes because it hangs on the wall. Make sure I get all the moss out of here. So always make sure if you're working with moss that you don't leave any moss in between the leaves and anything like that, because if it stays moist, depending on the size of the moss, it can cause rotting, and leaf can get some moisture in there, and then, you know, it'll decline from rot. So put a little bit of macra fungi, and then we will position him back just a bit so it's not too close up front. And then I'm just going to fill it in with the bark and moss, and then we'll be done with this one. And since this one did have water, I'm not going to water it either, just in case I did do some damage to the roots that it already has. And the new roots that are incoming, they were kind of sitting in the media, so I will go ahead and cover them up. And make sure I have some moss around them to encourage them to find it, to go in. Set it back just a little bit more. There we go. And I also am looking for, you know, our friends who have recently visited that came uninvited. That's just rude. Just rude. No manners. No manners at all. They just show up, take over your house, and they don't even bring you a gift you like, you know? They don't bring you flowers or nothing. They just come and eat all your food. All right, that is all we're going to do with this one for the moment. So it is kind of low in the pot, but we'll be fine. It will be fine. And then I did bring my pen to write my date so I don't forget. So I'm just going to put June of 24. I used to be exact on the dates. Now I just do the month and the year. Just do the month and the year. I figure, you know, that's enough. That's enough. I'm kind of rambling, aren't I? I apologize. I am rambling. What did I do with the keiki, guys? What did I do with the keiki? She's supposed to go in here. Okay. Well, that's different. Have I lost my mind? Okay. Well, I'll put it up here. I'm sure she's going to show up at some point. She's got to be around here somewhere. Then the Lamira, we are going to also cut her spike because she came with this spike back in September of 2021. And she's bloomed on and off over the last 2 years. And this spike is also branching. I don't know if you saw part 3 of the Polychilus Summer Bloomer updates, but she is branching as well. However, I'm not happy with her latest leaf growths. So I think she is putting too much energy into that spike, and I want her to put energy into her leaves. She does have new roots coming as well. So now again is a good time to freshen her up. She has been in this setup, I believe, since 22. Yep, since September, since October of 22. And again, we have hardly any roots. Again, my fault, my fault. Oh my goodness, like she literally, well, that explains the leaves. So she does not have the energy at the bottom to support what's going on up top. I should have cut this spike a long time ago. So we are going to cut it literally right at the base. Just snap it right on off of there. And one day it will bloom again. All right, let's see. I am going to take this leaf right here off because, as you can see, matter of fact, I might take these 2 bottom ones off just so I can get more roots into the pot. Because if I take these 2 bottom leaves off, so this one and this one, that will allow this root and that root right there to really go in. And if I take this bottom leaf off, it will allow that root to go in. So that is what I'm going to do. There's nothing wrong with the leaves. I just need the roots to go into the pot. And I feel like that's the best thing for her. Now, a lot of people would disagree with me and say that the roots will find their way into the pot, and absolutely they will. However, I'm going to make sure that they do. I'm going to encourage. So with this one, I'm going to have to be really careful because that root is growing out of this leaf. So I have to make sure that when I do this, I'm just going to try to go right down the middle. And then hopefully, if I can get it in shot, hopefully just go right around the root, because we also have this other one here. So that one is there. And then because I did not get it quite right, I'm going to split it again until I get on this side. And again, take that off. And then take my clippers and we're going to clip right into it just to get around the root. And then this way we don't damage a lay root, in theory. In a lay theory, that is what we're doing here. I wish I had smaller hands. There we go. And then I do see another little dry sheath right here from an old growth that I am going to take off. I say this in all my videos, but when I get an orchid out, I like to clean it up as much as possible. Take out all the dry sheathing. Just remove everything I can for the health of the orchid. So as you can see, I was able to get the rest of that leaf from around the root. And now I'm going to clean the rest of these dead roots off. And because she does not have a lot, I definitely need to be careful not to cut off any that are still firm. That might give her some energy until she regrows the roots. I should have cut that spike a long time. I should have, I don't know. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I didn't. So here we are now. Anybody else do that? Just kind of beat themselves up after they get an orchid out of a pot and know that they should have looked at it sooner? That is where I'm at right now. Okay, so here's what we got. Let me move that right there. I'm just going to throw all this in that bucket too. Here we go. Move that over there. So I'm gonna actually put her about right here like that, so that she's, one, set back a little bit, but two, she's gonna be pretty deep in this pot to get, hopefully get this in here. There we go. And we're going to repeat this process here. I'm just going to put some mycorrhizal fungi. So I was not using mycorrhizal fungi back in 2022, I don't believe. I think I started it in 23. I don't remember using this when I repotted a lot of these guys. And I'm not adding fertilizer to these yet because I need them to gain some strength before I add in fertilizer. Sorry, I saw a piece of moss, so took care of it when I synced it. All right. Oh. I could just beat myself up right now. Like literally beat myself up, but no point in crying over a spilt of milk, as my grandma used to say. Just clean it up and keep going. All right, and then we're gonna raise her up just a wee bit. And because she was used to being in more moss, I am going to put some moss around her roots there as well to encourage the roots to go down into the media and not aerial. That is the hope. I do not want aerial roots on this one quite yet. Quite yet. All right, there's that. Again, I'm not going to water this one today. Where she sits, tomorrow is watering day for that area anyway. So I will just run some water through this one tomorrow to allow any wounds I created to kind of seal off and heal prior to getting a lemosher. There we go. And then I think I'm going to add just a wee bit of moss right here to encourage that one root to kind of find its way down. Let me cover it up a little bit. Don't want it right on the base. I'll show you here in just a second. There. So what I did is I just put a little bit of moss right here for this root to kind of go down into the media. And I don't think I'm going to need to stake her because once I get her on the wall, she's really not going to move that much. Again, check for any moss. There we go. And just a little piece right here that I want to get off. There we go. All right, so there goes that. Let me put my tag and then let me clean this up and then let me guys show you. Let me guys show you. I can't talk. Let me show you guys what I got. You guys are going to be like, what? What is that? Probably not. Probably not. Anyway, I'm excited for them and I'm excited to share it with you. So I'll be right back. Okay, so it is a little bit later in the day. As you can tell, it's not quite as bright in here. I'm in the process of kind of cleaning up the orchid stuff and getting ready to do regular houseplant stuff. My sister-in-law swung by. Amazon dropped off a couple of packages. She swung by for a little while. So in the meantime, while I was chatting with her, I did pot up a couple of things. I'll show you those and then we'll move on to the rest. But the houseplants that I got are actually rescue box houseplants. So if you don't know about this, I don't know who started it. I saw a video where they were talking about it. But you can order a set of houseplants, a rescue box, and the seller will put together some plants for you. Some of them, I think you can pick like the group of houseplants you're going to get. Others, they just send what they have. The one I ordered from is Che D Plant Lady, and I will put it on the screen down here. I just Googled rescue box, and this is the one that popped up. 5 plants for $20 plus shipping. And some of the plants I got are like 15, 16 bucks. So I got 5 for what one plant might have cost. And even though they're rescue plants, they're not actually like dying or anything. They're just plants that they can't sell at full price, or they were going to have to bin just because they have too many, whatever the case might be. Example number one right here is the Sansevieria Linetti. I just call it a snake plant, but this was one plant. This piece was connected to this. Last night, because I did get them yesterday being the 31st of May. It is the 1st of June as of this recording. But what I did is I just took and I cut this growth off of the mother plant, and I let it harden overnight. So they're both potted in terracotta pots, as you can see. There is no like a plastic pot inside. They're literally potted into the terracotta, and it's just the soil that I get from Orchid Supply Store that is amended with perlite, charcoal, bark, and that's it. That's all I have in there. I did add some mycorrhizal fungi. I do have a little bit of moss at the bottom just to keep the soil from clumping and falling in the hole. I'm not going to water them. I have them stay because they are a little unsteady. They did come with a few roots, not too many. These are not really known to be great root producers, at least in my experience. I've never had one that had like a really big root ball. I've had them with decent roots, but not a great big root ball. So this one is going to grow in my daughter's room, and then once this one kind of acclimates and I know that it's kind of steadied itself, because this one is staked actually in the front and the back, this one we're going to try to grow downstairs in the basement again under a grow light. So wish us luck. And then this one came as a freebie actually. This is the cutest thing. The best I could tell from doing some Google search on it is it's called a felt plant, F-E-L-T, or like an elephant ear plant. And some of the pictures I've seen of this are pretty big. But this one is in a succulent soil mix amended with some charcoal and some pebbles and a little bit of grit. And I haven't watered it. There weren't hardly any roots with it. I have not watered it, but look how cute it is. And it's a variegated version. If anybody knows what this is, and it looks like it's like serrated right here. They're kind of pointy, but they're not sharp, if that makes sense. But if you know what that is, can you leave it in the comments below so I can do a little more research and make sure that I do have it in the proper soil amended mixture there. And again, it's in a terracotta pot. This does not have a drainage hole in it, so I have to be very careful with this one. I've grown lots of succulents in these kind of terracotta pots, and I do pretty good with them. This one will be sitting in the east-facing window on the new plant shelf that I just purchased. Now, let me show you one of the others. I also did some watering while my sister-in-law was here, and that's why the spaghorn fern is over here. It is in the draining process. Hopefully we don't knock it over. And then before we get to the rest of the rescue box plants, I thought that I would go ahead and our piece of Puplicalyx from the Hoyas, go ahead and plant it up. I know initially I said I was going to put it in with the one that's in pond, but I think I'm going to put it with this one to kind of fill it in a little bit, and I'm just going to set it in the front. Ideally, what the idea is not to disturb this plant too much. So I'm just going to take a bamboo askew, and in theory, I'm going to just kind of move the soil out of the way a bit, and then just plant this directly into it. And then I will water this one later, but let's see if I can get it to go down in there. Just take that root and kind of put it up under. Let's see, let's take our skewer and see if we can't, see if I can't see here. There we go. Make some more room here and just wiggle it in there. And I'm not really poking the root, I'm just wiggling the soil that is near the root. And then we'll just cover it up like so. Let's see, let's get that one in there. And we will push it in there just like that and kind of let it lean over just a wee bit. And I am going to add just a little bit of bark on top there just to kind of help steady it. Oh, and there's a little rock there we can help as well. There we are. So that was simple. That's one less thing that I'll have to not forget, because I know me, I have these grand plans, and if I don't do them in a decent amount of time, or if I don't write myself a note, I'll forget until I see it again. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Anybody else like that? But this is kind of what we're going to have here. So we've got this back growth here, and then I just added in this one, and that'll fill this one in a little bit as well. So now I'm going to, let me move it over. There we go. Come on, be careful. There we are. And then, like I said, I'll water that one later. The Sansevieria I won't be watering at least for about a week until they really kind of settle in, because the soil that I use, it is damp. It's not wet, but it is damp. So I will allow that to completely dry out. Next on the rescue plants is this, I think it's pronounced an Adena. I had one of these. It was the one that sun stressed really well. It was red. I overwatered it, forgetting it's a Codox. I think, is that how you say it? Codox or Cadox plant, where it stores a lot of its nutrients and moisture in the actual trunk, not in the leaves. But this is the Glauca. If that's how you say that, I'm not sure, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. But they all came wrapped in paper, in moss with a paper towel. So when they came in yesterday, what I did is I just took the plastic off of the bottom, and then I just dipped the bottom portion in some CalMag water, and then I wrapped it back up and let them sit overnight, and they've been pretty much in this for about 24 hours. So hoping that everything is okay in there. Don't know what the roots look like. The roots are going to determine what I pop this lady in. And if the tripod gets knocked, I am going to apologize ahead of time, but I've got Ayala in here. I am in the kitchen. Like I said, we had lasagna, and she's my little vacuum cleaner. If anybody drops anything, she is all over it. As far as I know, there's nothing on the floor, but she'll find something. All right, so it's wrapped up in all the moss, and let's just gently take the, oh, okay. So it looks like it has a fairly decent root system. We have some nice roots, some new roots coming in right there. That's nice. And then the kind of hairy roots. So the pot that I have chosen is this one. I'm just going to kind of set it right in the center there. So I'm going to take some of the moss that it came with and just put it down here at the bottom. It's good quality moss. It doesn't have a bad odor to it. And just like with the orchids, I will be adding the mycorrhizal fungi to encourage a healthy biosystem there. Let me move the bark out of the way. I'll just set it right here because I'm sure I'm going to need it here in a minute. But put that down, and then we'll just get some of the soil, and I'll just kind of show you guys here. Like I said, it's got the perlite, it's got some bark in there, charcoal pieces, nicely amended. I'm hoping that that will be enough for it. I know not to keep it wet because that's how I lost the other one. I need to let this one probably completely dry out and water sparingly during the winter, if at all, and then during the growing season, make sure that I keep the soil, I'm not going to say wet, but not let it stay dry for too long while it's actively growing. And I'm going to try to get it in the center, and then we're just going to fill up around it, and then we're going to call this one a done. Shake it up a little bit. And I am going to put some bark around the top just to keep the soil from drying out too quickly. And as you can see, this is damp, so I don't have to worry about watering this one again for a couple of days, if not for a couple of weeks, because although it has a pretty good, decent root system, it doesn't require that much moisture. Let me just get some of this bark here and top it off. I like to do this, one, for decorative purposes, and two, it helps from the top of the soil drying out too quickly, and it kind of keeps the moisture in your pot a little bit longer, and it helps with stabilizing plants. So as you can see, this one was a bit wobbly. Now with the bark around it, I do not have to stake this one. I tried that with the Sansevieria, and they were just too top heavy to cooperate. There we are. And even though the trunk looks like it's buried, it's just, that's nothing but bark around it, so it's not going to be sitting in moisture for any of you who might be concerned about that. Let me grab a little bit more bark on this side to kind of lock that side in. There we go. And then it will just sit in this lovely decorative pot. And I haven't decided yet where I'm going to put this one. Once we're done, I guess I'll figure that out. And then let's talk about this one. So this is the, I believe this is the Maranta Green. Hold on, let me, and I've already dated and put the name of these. That's the name of where I purchased from. And their shipping and their communication was really, really outstanding. I would recommend them if you're looking to buy a rescue box. And this is a good way if you want to build your regular houseplant collection, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. I basically spent for 5 plants and a freebie what we would normally spend on a Phalaenopsis, for instance. So just kind of put that in perspective for you. So yeah, this is the Green Mantra. So it is one of the prayer plant family plants. It is not like the, I think it's the Calathea that is uber sensitive to their environment. Like they have to have their humidity just right, their temperature just right, their water levels in their pot just right. Super sensitive little ladies. So I am hoping that this lady here will do fine in my environment. Again, where am I going to put her? I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. But let's look at her roots. And I did the same thing with this one. I took the plastic off last night, dipped the bottom in some CalMag, let it soak. And like I said, it's been soaking for a little over 24 hours now. And let's see what we got in here. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Okay, let me take the moss off of here. And let's see. All right, so she's already in. So if you want to know what to plant it in. Oh, look, it's got a corm. It's got several corms, actually. Okay. Do I want to remove the corm or, yeah, I am actually. Let me cut this. These are sterilized, by the way, guys. So that is that. And I think I'll put these in a little box by themselves and see if I can't get them to sprout, and then we'll just get a bigger plant in the future. I love that for me. Oh, look, more corms. Oh my goodness, this is a corm baby. I'm just going to leave these in here. And oh my goodness, look at all of them. My goodness. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. Let's just see how many we can find. Here. And there's 2 more on that side. 3. So Marantas do make corms. I'm sure you guys probably already know. You know what? I'm just going to leave them in here. I'm going to leave them in here, let them do what they're going to do. I'm not going to go through and take them all out. That'll be once I repot her and put her in something else. But for now, this is kind of what we have. We have all of these corms here. She's got a bazillion all inside here. And she does have 1, 2, 3, looks like 4 new leaves growing. I'm not going to do any leaf trimming or anything like that at the moment. Less stress, the better. I'm just going to place her in this pot right here, which is a 4-inch pot, and she has plenty of room around the sides to grow those corms. So again, just like before, some of her roots came off there, but just like before, I'm going to put some of the moss that she came in the bottom to hold the media from falling out. Move that over here to the side right there. And put some macra fungi. Has anybody else started using this? It does take a little bit to kind of notice the difference. So let me know if you've started using this, and if you have, how long, and have you noticed a difference with your plants, be they orchids or house plants. All right, I think that should be enough. And then we are just going to, let me hold all the leaves up here because she's got lots of new growth. So she is going to be just a fine. All right, let me fill her in. Matter of fact, let me bring her over here so I can just see what I'm doing, first of all. And then we're going to just pat that down in, turn her on this side. This is one of the things I love about houseplants. They're so much easier to pot up, in my opinion, than orchids. With orchids, I tend to be all, I don't know, super careful and pedantic, and oh my God, it's got to be in just the right spot. Whereas with houseplants, yeah, you just throw them in there, you pat the pot a little bit, and you call it a day. All right, and Do a little bit more on that side. This one, I'm going to still put some bark as well, but I'll put the bark on this one after I've watered it through and the soil has settled down, so I know where the line is. Let's see. That's a little bad section. We're just gonna, I'm sorry, that was Ayala again. I'm not going to, there we go. Just cut that piece off right there. Let's pull that out. This is what I was looking at right here. This right here. Just, that's all dead and dry. Just toss that. And then we'll pack that in. I like to push my houseplants like this down just a little bit as well. And doing that, I can actually now probably go ahead and put my bark in there. I'll do the bark when we're done. But like I said, green Maranta. And so this one you can buy in your local grocery store, hardware store, and they do sell the nice big potfuls for like $14, $14.99, $15. But again, I got this one with 4 others plus a freebie. And this one will just go into this decorative pot. Oh, no, it won't. It won't fit. I'll have to get a different decorative pot for this one. That's okay. I have one outside. Maybe it'll sit in here because I don't even know what I had in there. Oh, wouldn't that be pretty? I'll have to put some rock in there so it won't sit so low. You know what? I think we will put it in here. I like that. Thank you for that idea, guys. Y'all are great. Now, I'm going to unwrap one of these off camera because the last one we're going to look at is a wish list plant, something that I have been looking at since I think like 2018 and just never wanted to buy. 1, the price for the size I wanted. 2, I heard it's a diva, and you know, I have enough divas that are orchids. I don't need a diva house plant, but okay, let me separate them real quick, guys. Sorry, I know the suspense. Is it killing you? Is it killing you? Let's see. Let me separate this one from that one. Uh-oh, they're tangled. There. Okay, so that goes with that one. Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay. There, and this, my friends, oh, love that. I love that for you. Okay, this is a philodendron lime fiddle or fiddle lime. Let me see, which one is it? 1 second, I have to find the tag. I can't find the tag. Up, there it is. It was under the paper towel. Like you guys can see me. Okay, so it is the lime fiddle, and this one, the leaves can get fairly decently big. This is a nice size leaf for this cutting, and obvious name of lime is the center vein here does get limey, and then the other of it does get some variegation, lime variegation. And if you guys hear some stuff in the background, my husband and daughter are playing their video game. But we've got some lovely roots coming off here. We've got a leaf getting ready to unfurl, and then it looks like we have a new leaf starting here. Now, I am going to keep this one in moss, simply because it is growing in moss, so I don't want to change it up too much. Once I kind of know her better, I will probably put her in what I like to grow philodendron in, which is pretty much almost like a succulent potting mix that's very well amended. I do have a philodendron currently growing like that, but for now we are going to put her in moss and see how she does. I am going to add some of the moss that they came in into the pot. Here we go. I'm going to take that. This is just part of the moss. It's a little moss stick. Take that out and push it in, and we'll put some mycorrhizal fungi, and I will put some fertilizer beads in this one as well. Just a few, drop a few in there, kind of encourage it. And where's my bark? Oh, you know what? Let's grab the bark from down here and place it up here. So this one I'm going to pot similar to the way I pot my orchids, only it's going to be very heavy in the moss and light in the bark. The bark is just going to be there for the aeration purposes, to keep it from going too stagnant. And this moss that I'm using is my moss that's fairly dry, so this one will be getting some water after I'm done filming. Just for the record, Let's see. Actually, you know what? I wonder. Nope, I think I am just going to use my soil mix that I would normally use, but I do need to put her in a little bit deeper than what she's in now. Let me take some of this at the bottom off. The stuff that has the mycorrhizal fungi in it I had to keep. But yeah, I think I am going to use my mix because, let me show you guys. This one here is also a philodendron. So this is also in the, no, this is an anthurium. I'm sorry. I thought this was a philodendron, but I'm still going to kind of pot it up like I have this one where there's the moss at the bottom to keep the soil in, with soil that has lots of amendment in it like this one does. I'll just add more bark to make sure that it is getting the nice airy free flow, because philodendron are aeroids. And let's see if I've got that deep enough now. Yeah, I think that'll work just like that. Because if you look at it, it looks like it came out of soil. Looks like there's soil on it. So it looks like it came out of soil and was just wrapped in the moss for transport. So that's what we're going to do with that one. But I don't think this pot is going to be big enough. Nope, I don't think it's going to be big enough. Do I have another pot handy without having to turn anything off and go outside? Let's see. You know what? I do have this. And yes, that looks ridiculously large for that, but you know what? I think we're going to do this. It looks ridiculously large, doesn't it? It really does. But you know our trick we're going to do? What we do with our orchids, we're going to make that pot a little bit smaller by adding some bark at the bottom. There we go. And then this way it can kind of let the air flow. Let me take this and put it there. That's the moss that has the mycorrhizal fungi already in it and the fertilizer, and I think we're going to do that. And then the soil, if I do that, then maybe I should just do the moss. Decisions. I had such a plan before I took it out of there. I didn't want to take it out of the, I didn't want to look at them without you guys, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if that came across or not. I'm sure it did not. Is what I was trying to say. Let's see. Do I want to just do the moss then? You know what? We're just going to do the moss. Let's just do the moss. Let's just do the moss. And this moss already has some bark and perlite in it. So there is aeration in this for Miss Lady here. The lime fiddle, or the fiddle lime. Is it lime fiddle or fiddle lime? Fiddle DD, lime fiddle. And I probably will stake it initially till it kind of gets itself in the rhythm of what it's going to do. And if I'm correct, and anybody who grows any of these, and if I'm saying something that is not correct or I need to change something, let me know in the comments below. Again, I am open for suggestions and correction. If it's done, you know, in a nice, polite way. We don't want to be rude around here. We're all nice to each other. Or we try to be anyway. There's that. There we go. And this moss is going to be nice and airy, nice and loose. And then I think I'm going to add some of this horticultural lava. Just kind of as a barrier in here. Just to kind of add more aeration and to kind of help hold humidity down. I will do that. And as you can see, this does have some small bark, some perlite, and some charcoal in it already. Don't know what Loki is growling or barking at, but we're just going to let him do him this afternoon or this evening, and we're just going to keep going. So I'm just going to go right through the break in the top of the leaf here. And then I have a clip here that we're just going to, so this clip right here, hold on, one of these orchid clips, and we are going to clip it right up here at the top. A little bit more moss, and then I'm just going to top it with some bark. But I do want the moss around those roots there. There we go. And then let's top it with our bark. And I am so excited to be growing some other house plants, because when I first started this channel, it was orchids, or Trish's Orchid and Plant Life. And I used to have a lot more house plants than I have now. And I kind of miss it. So that's kind of why we're having some random houseplant videos as well. And I know not everybody enjoys those. Everybody comes for the orchids, but every once in a while we have to change things up, you know. Keep it interesting. All right, so that, I believe, is that on that one. Put a little bit more on that one little corner, or that one little side here. There we go. All right, so there is our fiddle lime, or yep, lime fiddle, fiddle lime fiddle. Again, I'll have to find a decorative pot for that one, and we will have to give this one some avata. We'll put that there. Now, for the coup de grace, I think is what they call it, for the finale, for the I was unpacking this box, and I'm taking the paper off, and because it was rolled, it was packed really nice. I should have filmed it, but I didn't. And I saw the leaf, and I was like, oh, I know what this is. So what is it, Trish? It is, whoop, hold on. It is an Alocasia jacklyn. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, look at this. Y'all, look at the gorgeousness of this. I have been wanting this since 2018, 2019 at the latest, ever since I had an Alocasia poly, and I started looking up at types of Alocasia, and this girl popped up. And yes, you can buy her really small for inexpensive, but I didn't want to start off with a small one. I wanted to start off with kind of something that was a little more established. And look at the stems. This is, like, this plant, there is nothing boring about this particular Alocasia. This is a stunner, even if I say so. So what are we going to put her in? Well, let's look at her rooties. And looks like she was in soil, and the roots seem to be okay, actually. And it looks like we might have a growth right here coming. Let me take this moldy looking stuff. It's just from being wrapped up in the moss. And then it looks like there might be something here. If you grow the jacklyn, let me know, because this looks like that was the latest growth right here. So it is possible that the next one, this is another growth coming here. But now what do I put it in? Let's see, because the roots seem to be really doing really well. Initially, I was going to put it in pond, because I do have my other Alocasia in pond. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because I do know that Alocasia do not like to dry out. They like to stay evenly damp. You know, the drill. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to step in front of you guys. So excuse me. And we're going to just rinse off as much of this as we can, so that when I put it in the pond, we don't have all of this yucky in here. And then we'll also be able to really get a good look at those roots and see what's going on too. So, oh my goodness, it looks fantabulous. Oh, wait till you guys see these roots. Getting all the moss off of here. Like I said, I'm gonna get as much of this soil off as I can. I'm rinsing around the base just to make sure there's nothing there. Oh, it's getting a little too warm there. Let me take off some of the heat. And again, if you grow this lovely lady, do leave in the comments below your thoughts on how you grow yours. I am going to go ahead and put her in pond, because the Alocasia Silver Dragon and the Dragon Scale are both doing amazing in pond. One of them is actually already putting out brand new roots. And again, I might need to switch up the pot that I was going to place this girl in, because wait till you see her roots. Look at this. Look at those gorgeous roots. Look at that. Look, let me see if I can get out of the light. Oh my goodness, they are stunning. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's so pretty. She's just so freaking pretty. So freaking pretty. All right, let me stop. Let me go find something to put her in, because initially this is what I had picked for her. And I guess technically, I guess we could still put her in there like that until she really grows, and I know she's going to make it in here. Should I just do that? You know what? Let's just do that. Let's just stick with the original plan and put her in here. Let me get this out of the way so I can get my pond over here. Let's see. And for those of you who don't know, Lechuza has pond. I think they're the ones who are more famous for it. This here is just a non-Lechuza version of pond that I get. It's not the Lechuza pond, so there's no, what do you call it? Fertilizer, because I think Lechuza pond comes with fertilizer. I had thought about ordering the Lechuza pond, but then I was like, I don't think so. Oh, and I had brought my Syndapsis over as well. I was hoping that I could pot her up, but the roots are not there yet. I may have to start over, because it's been in there for a minute. Let's see, there's the pond. I was like, where's my pond? So I kind of throw my pond together into there, and then I do have some leftover leca beads in here as well, and I believe that's it. Yep, I do have some charcoal in there too. I forgot to mention that, and I do have a wick that I have already pre-positioned in here, and let's see. This is going to get pretty noisy here, so I do apologize for the noise. But let me just shake that around, and I'm probably going to need to stake Miss Lady as well, just to, let me let her lean right here for a second. Let me grab a stake before we get too far into this, so I know where her roots are and I don't smash too many of them. Okay, and since this is the latest growth here, I'm just going to pin it onto this one here. And let's see, let's do the green. I think green will look pretty with this one. Yeah, we'll just do it this way. Whoop, away from the stem. There we go. And then this way, she can be a little steady until she grows into herself. I am so excited for this, guys. Oh my God, look how pretty she is. Oh my God, love it. Was so not expecting this as a rescue. Like, there's really nothing wrong with her. I wonder if they just had too many, or if they just had excess cuttings that they had to get rid of. Whatever the reason, I am the lucky girl. I am the lucky girl. Yes, I am. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Y'all are like, Trish, we get it. You're excited. Y'all just don't understand how excited I really am. All right, let's see. Let's spread that around. And then the decorative pot that she is going to go in is this one here. And I'll put some, after I flush it through a little bit, put some water in the reservoir. The wick will keep the water going into here because it doesn't touch the bottom of the pot. But isn't she pretty? Oh my God, look how pretty she is. Look how pretty my jacklyn is. Oh, I'm so excited to have her. Now I need to find a premier spot for her. So make sure to watch Saturday Strolling so you can see where she ended up. See you next time.